Alright guys, back again for the last game of the night. And a lot of the same players still. Last game, pretty quick one. You know what? Yeah, well, I mean, you'll see it in the VOD anyways. But it was about a 27-ish minute game, if I remember correctly, which I'm probably not. But a really solid game. On the back of Zap's Earthshaker, who played fantastically. 659 played a really good anti-mage. Hitting creeps isn't necessarily an art, but it's certainly something that you can get better at. And we'll just dip into this game, as I've already probably talked enough about last game, as it will be Undying Quap as well as Alchemist Doom. So I'm pretty sure the exact same four bands we had last game. It will be Alf dropping up against Kyleep yet again. And both players just drafted up against each other next game, and already a different draft. So it looks like Kyleep will be grabbing the Tuskar and an immediate Clockwork Lina pick. And I do like that. There's some nice synergy there inside the cogs. Easy ledge strike array, easy to get your abilities off in general. And then look at that. Kyleep will just grab the Dazzle, ban out the Ancient Apparition. Doesn't want to have to deal with somebody disabling or essentially nulling the fact that you've got a Dazzle, the heal, as well as the Shallow Grave. So pretty important there that he gets rid of that Ancient Apparition. But definitely a nice, I think, pick. As Dazzle, a pretty good hero. He's good at just grabbing a TP early on, jumping into the mid lane, throwing out a Shallow Grave if somebody's about to go down, turning around a gank, especially if you can pair him with like a Shadow Fiend. Never mind, Shadow Fiend is now gone. Radiant side Shadow Fiend, incredibly strong. We saw Alf just dominate last game on the Radiant side Shadow Fiend later on. He had a tough start, got ganked quite a bit, but turned it around, started playing really well. I think ended up with a godlike near the end of the game. And probably just spoiled the whole thing, but whatever. Anti-Mage as well, going to be banned out as the Windrunner. So both drafters really getting rid of a lot of heroes from last game. And you know what? I'm totally okay with that, as it does kind of get a little bit annoying drafting heroes that you see all the time. And even though we did have Lina, Wyvern, as well as the Tuskar, Clockwork, and Dazzle, going to be enough of a difference for me. And we'll see if anything crazy going to come out of this one. We've still got quite a few strong heroes. Earthshaker, Lion's not that bad to grab. You don't really want to... Well, I mean, they've already got the Wyvern, actually. But Earthshaker's there, Lion's there. Witch Doctor, obviously, still there. Shadow Fiend taken out, as well as the Quap. So probably your next mid laner, you could look at something like the Beastmaster. Storm Spirit, I mean, the whole kind of Storm Spirit in general, the hero, how he plays, his items, stuff like that, got nerfed. But that doesn't mean he's a bad hero anymore. He can still stand up in lane. Lina, most likely... I don't know. People don't like playing the Lina mid anymore. I still think she's incredibly strong. 850 pure damage. That Aghanim Scepter is still so good. She can still easily dominate the lane with Dragon Slave. I'm trying to think who played. I think Tricky played Lina last game. So they're not going to draft it for Tricky. And instead they'll give it to somebody else here. So really dipping into the reserve time is Alf. And not bad. I mean, you've got the time. You may as well spend it. Make sure you're getting the best picks possible. They've got a lot of physical damage over here on the side of the Radiant. So perhaps somebody who's comfortable at dealing with that. Obviously, the Dazzle, one of the heroes that is, but he's already on the side of the Radiant. But somebody who maybe is okay with building something like a Crimson Guard, or, you know, grabbing an early mechanism. Something to just, you know, eat through, I guess that. Maybe grab an AC. You can grab a Lycan. And I think a Lycan strat is pretty good so far. They don't have that much chase. They don't have that much catch for the Lycan. Hit and run is really good up against a Dazzle and a Witch Doctor, because they don't really have too much CC, so they can't deal with somebody moving at like 600 move speed and like 3 hitting people. You have to have, I'd say this is fairly relevant, but you would have to have better reaction timings with the Shallow Grave. So I think Lycan could definitely be a better pick than pretty well any other core, I think, in my opinion. You could grab... Okay, well, there it is. So it will be a TA mid. Lina will rotate over to the 4 position. Although she could still be the safe laner. Don't get me wrong. Definitely still possible. Probably going to rotate over towards the 4 position, though. And then they've still got a safe laner they could grab. And Witch Doctor now alongside the Dazzle. So they've got a lot of physical damage here. They're going to need another frontliner alongside that Tusk, I believe. Anti-Mage is already gone. Juggernaut wouldn't be a bad carry alongside the Witch Doctor Dazzle. They don't have that much lockdown to keep somebody in lane to get a kill. Gyrocopter, pretty good, not that great at dealing with refractions. And guess who is? It is the Venomancer. So it's probably going to be a mid lane Venomancer up against the T8. A direct counter now for Kyleep. And he just played mid against Alpha last game. A fairly even matchup. Both players, I think Alpha is like 4.8k. Kyleep is like 5.1k. And that is a huge difference. Don't get me wrong. But both players certainly good players. And they'll probably be facing each other in the mid lane yet again. And it will be a PL ban now. And PL pretty good as well at dealing with the refractions. Wyvern as well. Venomancer good at dealing with the Wyvern. Has a lot of magical damage. Although Wyvern doesn't mind building into a Glimmer Cape. But they do have a little bit of both now. So it'll be an offlane Tuskar, mid lane Venomancer. Last but not least, who are they going to grab as their carry? I think they could get away with a Drow here. I think this would... Well, you know what? They've got a Clockwork, actually. So maybe not. Maybe a Luna. You know what? You grab a Luna. You buff your team's damage. You've got fantastic push. You're buffing the physical damage as well. An easy Roshan and Huskar. Okay. Okay. I can see it. I can get with that. I see where he's coming from. Safe lane Huskar. But there's a lot of physical damage. And now, especially if you... Maybe if they pick up the Gyrocopter, then you go for like a last pick Huskar. But picking Huskar right now, I think you just grab the Luna and you've got a ton of physical damage. Venomancer is essentially your only magical damage. It's not that big of a deal. He's easy to kite around. So outside of his leap, you just gale him. You got Poison Sting. You've got so much that you can kite him with. Shards, Poison Touch, even from the Dazzle. The cast going to be bouncing around. That I think the Huskar is... I don't know. I really... You know what? I'm not sure how this Huskar is going to fare in this game. I definitely think it's going to be difficult for him. And I'm really liking the draft over here from Kyleep so far. And now, what's he going to last pick? I think the Luna is probably your best option. Juggernaut as well. Really good at dealing with the Huskar. Refractions, not so great when you pick up the Juggernaut. Wyvern as well. So that way you've got a little bit of magic damage for the Wyvern. You're going to build a BKB early against the Luna. Yeah, you know what? I'm really comfortable with the Luna pick right now. I think if Kyleep goes for Luna, that's a great pick. Is just dipping into his last minute of reserve time now. I'm trying to think who else he could go for. Could see something really strange like a Vengeful Spirit. I think it was TI3 Navi that ran like Venge, Venomancer, and another hero. It may have been Witch Doctor. It may have been Dazzle, actually. Yeah, you know what? This is a Chaos Knight. So Chaos Knight, same thing, actually. You know what? I like that. A lot of physical damage. Late game, there's no way they can deal with the Chaos Knight aside from a good Winter's Curse. And they have to be very careful with that. So it will be Kyleep and Alp taking up the mid lanes. Hype going to be on the Chaos Knight. I believe he played Tuskar last game, I think. Tricky going to be on the Witch Doctor. Soleedus as well on the Dazzle. Monty going to be on the Tusk. And that's going to mean that we won't have... well, no, MoViNtArGeT's going to be on the offlane Clockwork. Zap going to be playing the Lina. So Zap playing a really good offlane Earthshaker. Instead now, he's going to be playing the 4-position Lina. So very different role switch up from both sides here. And I guess Soleedus and Tricky playing, supports again. They're going to be comfortable with as just moving into the last 10-second countdown here. I can get rid of this overlays. It doesn't really work anymore. And there it is. So game's going to start. All right. Game's not going to start. Who are we kidding here? This is our RD2L. DC over here from our Tuskar. As it looks like. Are they actually all in a line like this? I wonder, like... Did they all start in a line? I wonder how important like spawn positioning is. I've never really paid attention to that, but I wonder how important spawn positioning is for offlaners, running to get that observer ward, stuff like that. Okay, so maybe that's... You know what? I didn't even consider that. Maybe they put the Huskar mid against the Venomancer. But even then the TA is up against... How do they... This is going to be interesting. It's not a Dragon Man, it's a Wyvern. Even Inuit. Alright, alright. Well, we don't have one right now. Still waiting on him to jump in here. And you know what? I think the Huskar mid could be a nice play here. Usually, though, Alf does play the mid laner. He could play the one position, of course. But I think he'll still be in the mid lane. A lot of all chat going on here. Not the player I was hoping to connect in. In fact, not a player at all. Just an observer. Yeah, where is Tusk, man? Come on. Gotta work in the morning. What is happening right now? No Wyvern right now. Yeah, congrats to Unknown for 2-0ing Digital Chaos quite convincingly as well. Oh my lord. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have my series from lane to lane where I just cast some everyday pubs that you guys send me. I also do some more professional pubs like games from Koikva, Miracle, whoever I can get my hands on from Dodobuff. I have a learning series as well, so feel free to check that out. There's some more info in the description as well as some videos linked in the annotations at the end here. Thanks a lot.